Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book The Crystal Star by Vonda McIntyre. This is a Star Wars novel. This is a kind of infamous novel for Star Wars in a couple of ways. This is not a beloved novel, to say the least. When I, was looking up the different Star Wars novels I still had yet to read on my list, and I saw this one, and I just glanced at the reviews and the ratings and stuff, and it had a really low rating on Goodreads, and a lot of the reviews were bad, and I looked at my friends who had read it, and most of them had not liked it. I do know one person who loves this book. I know one person who loves it, and I know one person who thought it was okay in my friend groups. Everybody else who read it had not liked it. So I was a little apprehensive, but I wanted to read all the Star Wars books to say I'd read them. And also, Vonda McIntyre is a well-renowned, she passed away recently, but she was a well-renowned Star Trek writer. She wrote some novelizations, like the Wrath of Khan novelization, which was pretty good, and the Search for Spock novelization, which was amazing. The movie is a good movie. The novelization is even better. The novelization is one of the best novelizations I've ever read, and she did a tremendous job with it. And I have another of her Star Trek novels, the Entropy Effect, which I'm really excited to read, and I'll have other books of hers that I want to read eventually. But so she's most known for her Star Trek books, and I think that's probably that, and I think she also wrote sci-fi, but I think her Star Trek stuff is what got her the gig to be able to write a Star Wars book in the first place. And in the 90s, when Bantam started getting their crop of writers, they basically did two things. They looked for writers who either had written who were contracted at Bantam, people who were science fiction fantasy people at Bantam, people like Tim Zahn, people like Michael Stackpole, people like Kevin Anderson. Those were all Bantam people at the time. And then they also, the second crop that they looked at for Star Wars was their Star Trek authors who were interested, who had experience in media tie-in fiction. Barbara Hambley was one of those, and Vonda McIntyre was another, and there were a few others that I'm blanking off the top. Oh, Christine Kathleen Rush was another. So this was one of the writers that was brought over because she had experience doing Star Trek, and she, I think, is a good Star Trek writer. But Vonda McIntyre does not fit with the Star Wars universe at all. This book absolutely didn't. I'm not going to bury the lead here. This is, I think, my least favorite Star Wars book I have ever read. And I have read a lot of darn Star Wars books. This is, I think, at the very bottom of the list, for at least the EU, at least. This is... So, getting into what I thought on the book basically has three plot lines that kind of intersect. You have the plot line about the Jason and Jaina and Anakin are all kidnapped, and so you are following the three of them from their perspective. That's one plot line. The second plot line that you're following is Leia, she and Chewie are going to try to find the kids. They are on the hunt to try to locate the children. Then the third plot line is Luke and Han, who go to this station, basically, and are dealing with this weird cultish group, and also this woman from Han's past. So those are the three plot lines. And none of the three plot lines worked particularly well. Of the three, I liked the Jason and Jaina storyline the most, simply because I liked the stuff. There's a dragon in that storyline, and I thought that was a really fun thing. And I thought that Jason and Jaina were cute as characters. Other than that, the Leia plotline and the Han and Luke plotline really did not work for me. None of those main three characters felt like the actual character that you had read in the other Star Wars books. A lot of the decisions that Han is making in the book with regard to his relationship with Leia, with regard to his journey that he'd taken in the EU, was just so bizarre. And a lot of the decisions Luke's making are also just feel very much out of the realm of Luke, and a lot of the decisions that that Leia's making as the chief of state of the New Republic make no sense. And the biggest thing that makes no sense is that, when the kids are taken, Leia does nothing to contact anyone. She does not try to contact her staff, people on Coruscant. She doesn't try to contact Han and Luke. She just goes straight off to chase after them. And it's like, she should have called someone, really. And I thought that was just an odd choice. And so the characters themselves didn't feel like their counterparts. I'm okay with new characters doing things differently, which is why a lot of the canon's been fine for me, because a lot of the books have been characters doing things different. And same with a lot of EU books. When you introduce a new character who's doing something totally different than what our main characters would do, I'm okay with that. When you introduce something our main characters are doing and it's weird, that's what the problem was. The second thing is the world building here. The world building, specifically regarding the Crystal Star itself and the station around it and stuff, would have fit perfectly in a Star Trek book. In fact, the whole Luke and Han plotline would have been fantastic, or at least okay, in a Star Trek book. The way that Vonda describes the black hole, the way she's describing the station, describing the cult, the way that Luke and Han deal with the cult and getting someone out of the cult and stuff, all of that I think would have made a pretty good, short Star Trek adventure. But in Star Wars, that type of story just doesn't feel natural, and it doesn't feel like it worked. And then also, there's just some bizarre naming conventions in here. It's a small thing, but one of the characters, his name is Lord Kaku. It's like QAQQUQQU or something. Kaku or what? It was weird. So I really I do not like to hate on things. I do not like to pile on. I do not like to just create a bunch of hate to get attention in Star Wars. So if after this video, I might say at the end of the year that this will make it onto my worst books of the year list. But other than that, I'm not going to make a bunch of videos hating on the Crystal Star, because this is my review. I'm talking about it in the initial review, and that's going to be it. So I don't like to, focus on the negative and just be like, oh, this is so stupid. But this book just does not work for me at all. And so, yeah, I'm going to give it really bad rate. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. The only saving grace to the book is the Jason Jaina stuff was cute. That's about it. That's about all I got for it. If you love this book, tell me why you liked it. Why did it work for you? Let me know your thoughts on it. And if it did not work for you, let me know about that as well. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.